Join us today for part 4 of our Halloween beginners makes, and this is a severed finger. So let's get started. As always, I'm using my mat, which I cover with a tea cloth because tea towels, I don't like the feel of that. So we need to take a pipe cleaner and fold it over. So we're working this on, I'm assuming this is like a man's finger, so as you can see, much bigger than mine. Maybe it's swollen a bit because it's been chopped off. So we're going to go a bit longer than our finger. We've also got bone sticking out the end. So kind of picture that in your, maybe just twist it a bit if you want to. Now I like to use this to help me attach my wall. So take a nice healthy piece of core wool. I'd probably split it and just pop that in there so it's got hold for you. You can give it a little twist if you want. And then we're going to wrap. So we've done some wrapping before us now. Okay, coming around, not too thick, but we're trying to get it quite even, try not to twist the wall. Okay, picked up some yellow there, you're not going to see it, so it's fine. And then this piece at the end, actually let's do this side. So we're going to keep this side as our bone, so we don't want that to be too tight, but we do want the piece covered. So take a really small thin bit and wrap around that. And we'll use our needle to get that bone looking better, more like a bone in a minute. So take some more. We are going to cover this with our colour that we want for our finger. So we've got to add that on top, but it won't be hugely thick, but you do need a little bit to cover the white. So just go around. Don't worry if the wire's sticking out. We can cover that with our felting in a minute. We just need to get this on. Give it a roll if you want to help it attach a bit, and then I would put your finger guards on. Let's just check, and then let's get going. So we just start stabbing to attach it. Loosely attached. With finger guards, sometimes it just means I can be much more quicker. I'll feel myself stab myself several times, and it only takes like 2 stabs for me to go, yeah, I'm feeling cold and horrible now. So I do like to use my my finger guards sometimes just for allowing me to be quicker. So this is our bone end, so we want this to be quite a bit thinner. So just be aware that there is wire in the pipe cleaner. You don't have to use a pipe cleaner if you don't want to. You could just, you know, roll it up to make a sausage, but sometimes it's easier if you've got something to attach to. So we're just pushing this in. You're using your needle to tell the wool where you want it to go. If you can also, you know, hold it down and just push it in. That's one of the really good things about having the finger guards. You can feel a bit more confident to allow your needle to, you know, get a bit more close or at a slightly different angle. Okay, give it a squeeze with your fingers. Sometimes I hold it like this. It allows me to see it better than when it's on the mat. You're gonna find your own way. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I can just give you the tips that have helped me to make what I make. That's all. And other people will do things differently too. You have to pick what you feel comfy or what comes more natural. And if you have a different way, use that. That's wonderful. So we kind of got the core wool works up quite quick. It attaches quite quick. It doesn't quite look as good, I don't think, as sometimes it doesn't look as neat and tidy as if you'd used, definitely not if you'd used merino wool, but that's harder to work with. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. Now keep going around. So like when you were making your ball, you just need to keep it moving so that you don't get a flat. You need to keep the needle moving. You need to keep your piece moving as well, so you don't get a flat edge as such, although fingers are a bit flatter here than they are here. But I'm not worrying about that just at the moment. Okay, so this is quite a long finger. It's longer than I expected it to be, but never mind. So for this top bit, we're going around. So be careful. So like when we were making a ball, we keep moving it around. I mean, you can actually literally go around but you need to keep moving it. Because we do have points on our fingers. Yeah, it is a bit long, but that's all right. What we want is the definition of the bone down here. We want that to look different, be a different thickness. So let's start with adding some pink now. So you don't have to have pink, you can have any colour finger you want. You could have a very pale blue colour finger if you really want. That would look quite scary. I just didn't want to give you a list of materials and then it come to a ridiculous price, so I was just trying to keep it low. So just wrap a piece round, reasonably tight. I like to hold it there and then attach. If you make it too thin, you'll see the white fruit. Maybe that doesn't bother you, maybe that's part of the look. Yeah, a light blue one would be really good. I don't think I have like a dirty enough blue. I should have a look at their website and see what they offer. So reasonably tight. And again, I'm not, you can see I'm not heavily felting this. As we put the detail in, it will get more and more felted. It does need quite a bit of felting, I'm afraid to say. This is not going to be a quick one today, but I will try and speed up a bit for you. We're just adding, moving it round. We'll work out which side is the top in a minute. We work out our nail. Again, you could start with pink if you wanted to. You don't have to do the coral underneath, but then you'll have to add the white or just put a bit of white at the end. It's up to you. It makes using your coloured wool, it will always be more expensive than the coral wool, so that's just something to bear in mind. But 50 grams, you can make lots with 50 grams. You'll be surprised because they even sell packs of 25 grams, so I would feel like 25 grams is enough because I make lots of things. Sometimes I wish I'd ordered more, but you have to do what's within your budget. But yeah, if you wanted to try some colours, because there's a whole new range of colours coming out that I'm itching to buy, but it will cost about 25, maybe more by the time I bought them all. And as I'm not selling my projects and not earning any money off them, I have to try and keep the budget low. Okay, so with the finger, we're going round. So if you need to hold it up like this, please do. I would recommend wearing finger guards today because it's such a thin project. We actually don't want real human blood on our project. So we're just going around. On the top, we're going to put a nail into this, like the nail of the finger into this, so that will have quite a bit of work on it in a minute. So it's really, really windy outside today. It's actually June when I'm filming this, and it's really windy and rainy today. Not nice at all. Okay, so we've gone around. I'm reasonably happy with this. Now let's sort the bone area out. So take a bit more wool. Sorry about the noise. Okay, I'm going to split this. I'm just going to put this around. I'm just going to wrap it round. And I'm going to work on push. So I'm pushing it this way this time. I'll do a mixture, but and we're going to get some definition in this because we're going to add what looks like a little bit of blood. If you can see there, I've used a really bright red with this. But if you want to, if you have a darker red, it will probably look better. Or even like you could do blue if you wanted to. I'm not actually looking for a picture of a severed finger because that's not very nice. So yeah, we're just gonna make this comical and fun, whimsical and fun. Use your imagination a bit, but I think it looks enough like a finger. And again, if you've got a jar of eyeballs, if you've done any of the other projects, you could add a finger to it as well, I think. I don't think it's gruesome enough that someone's going to be upset by it. I have actually done a hand, which is away in the Halloween box, and that was really good. I really enjoyed making the hand. So like I said, this is a lengthy process. So we're doing a mixture of adding it on top of here and then just getting that like ridge there. So this piece of bone is going to be much longer than the other one, which is maybe not so accurate, but I'm not worried, it's fine. Like I said, we're not going for huge accuracy here. But if you want to, you can add more and build this up. That's easy to do. Take some more. If you think that that's just too much bone, just wrap a big chunk around. That's the great thing, you can add more, but you can't take away. Like if I tried to chop that off now, I'd hit the wire underneath on the pipe cleaner, so be careful not to do that. Okay. Let's get that in. Just love that sound. That's way too much. Let's take some of that off. And like I said, we're not gonna felt it in too much because we've got quite a lot of detail on the knuckles and things to add in, so that will ultimately take some time, and you will be felting it more then when you do that anyway. So I'm reasonably happy with that. It is a long finger though. Never mind. It's a giant's finger, this one. Okay, so I'm gonna, it kind of like wants to lay that way, so I think I'll go with it. So I'm gonna just spend a little bit of time stiffening this up here, but just going round like that. And then we're gonna decide where our nail goes. So, and with that, we're just gonna push down. You can see I'm doing like lots of little pushes to get that detail in there. Now you can push it an angle too, above, like that. And you can do the same on this side. You can push in there. The more time you spend doing this, the better result you'll get, I'm afraid. It is just time. And then we're gonna come around as well, because the fingernail goes round. You can push this down a bit if you feel like it's just not solid enough. Spend a few minutes, but really keep moving, otherwise you'll ruin what you've done here. Okay, and then try and get that line back in, decide where you want it. And again, if you need to push some of this down, do that. But pushing that line in there is what's going to make the definition. Gently, I'm doing this much gentler so that I don't lose this piece here. But it just wasn't firm enough. And this is the skill bit. This is the bit where you know your needle felts get better because you're giving yourself time to put detail in. Now you could add a nail on top if you're confident and you know how to add a nail on top. You could do that if you wanted to. I didn't want to do that today because there's a chance you might need different materials, and I wanted to keep this as low budget as possible. You can get multi-needle holders which would allow you to make a flat piece, and I will talk about that at some point, but I didn't want you to have to be buying lots of equipment if you're just getting started, especially if you make a few projects and think, no, it's just not for me. Okay, so this piece is definitely really good. I'm really pleased with that. You just need to give the nail a bit of definition up here. And you can already see like how much more we're coming in now. And it does just take time, I'm afraid. So, you know, this could be a project that takes you a couple of days. You know, pause the video, stop, come back to it. Or it could be something you do quite quickly. It's up to you. So now we're going to put in these pieces and these pieces. So roughly decide where you want them to be. I'm going to say about there because it seems a bit of a natural dip. So again, same thing, we're just pushing down. I always picture it like if you look at my old hands, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see quite a few lines, but there's like a definite one that is, you know, slightly bigger than the others. So that's this one here, and then we'll go up. Sorry, that's that one there. So then we'll go up to the next stage and do the same again. Put that one piece in and work on getting that one piece in. Push these bits down if they're way too fluffy. This does need more time, but I'm trying to keep the video reasonably short for you. Push that down. And then you can start adding a few more. Same again, just keep it in the same place. If you need to just make these a bit less fluffy, you can do that. If you're struggling and you think, I can't really see it, here is a little tip. You've got some, should have some brown, take that, really small, tiny pieces. Even that's too big, tiny pieces like that. You can just push those in. I mean, this hand severed is probably going to be quite dirty anyway, isn't it? You can push that and you can really get that in so you can't see it. Even if you just want to do that to start so you know where you're pushing, you can do that. And if you're not happy with that, you can always go back over and pop a little bit more pink over the top of it so that you can't really see it if you don't like that look. But it might just help you to like remember where you're putting your needle. And I am going quite deep with it. Go around and just soften this down a bit. Again on this side. Just soften it. Not pushing in as deep with this. Start a new blob there, a new little. So yeah, much lighter here where I just want to sort of tuck it in a bit but not heavily. You can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can see like the wall is going down, it is flattening. It's, you sort of, sometimes when you're doing a project you're like, oh, it's just not moving, it's not going down. But honestly it is, it just does take time. Like one poke is not enough, unfortunately. It will be several. So I'm reasonably happy with that. I would give it a lot more time, but we don't want this video to be too long. Now last time I used a really bright red. I can't remember the colour of this, whether it's scarlet or poppy or something. It's just a slightly darker red, and there are some really lovely darker reds available. I'm going to use this to make the blood piece, and we're just going to push this down into here, and it's going to help define where the finger starts and the bone comes out. Now, like I said, you could put blue in this if you wanted to, that old crusty blood. I don't think it needs to be too perfect either. You know, you can push that in so that you can barely see it. You can put a tiny little piece in if you want, or you can put, oops, or you can put a really big piece in. Let's just get that there, tuck it down in. Smoothing that out a bit. So that is oh, we didn't do any marks on the other side, did we? So you can always put in these pieces too if you want to. That's not going to be difficult to do now. Literally just add a little, it's definitely like more singular piece there. Yeah, give that a quick poke if you need to and put another piece in. And remember that your finger's got a wire, so there's a little bit of bend to it if you want to. You could have it a bit of a weird shape. But yeah, carry on, make these details more, smooth it out a bit, spend as much time as you want. But yeah, that's our little severed fingers for you. Take care, thank you for joining us.